Hello everyone, how's it going? My name's Hardham Pickle and welcome back to some Satisfactory Update 1.1. I did talk a little bit yesterday about Update 1.2 and about a very small update that came out yesterday as well, mostly just going over the Steam Deck, but regardless, we are still on Update 1.1. Technically, I believe it's Update 1.1.2.2 at the time of recording. That's not confusing at all, no, don't worry. But yes, regardless, we are back, and today, as you can see, well, just about because it's pitch dark, we are continuing our Rocket Fuel City. We have been working on this now for a few episodes over the last few months, but as you can see, it's still in its very early stages of development, and it still looks a little bit crap. That's because it's a construction site, pretty much. I've barely built anything, but as you can see right below my webcam, we have a bit of a plan over the next few days here on the channel, well, technically over the next month in theory, because I want to try and get this project pretty much squared away over the next 3 weeks. Am I actually going to get it done? No, yes, sorry, definitely, but it's quite a lot of work, as we're about to discuss right now. So the very first thing that I want to try and do today is actually answer the question, what am I making here? Now, I've talked about how I'm making rocket fuel here. It's a rocket fuel city, yes. But because I'm gathering so much crude oil, is there a chance I can potentially make some other things here as well, such as plastic, rubber, fabric, maybe even as well, and maybe some other things along the way. So that is going to get discussed. Welcome, Johnny, by the way, first one here. Hope that you're doing good. Welcome. The second thing is, have we got enough resources? Luckily, this question should be pretty easily answered, because over here, I have got a list of all the resources that I need, and I've written it down here. So I'm going to go around my factory and see how many resources I've been able to collect so far over the last couple of months, and see what we're missing, because I know for a fact that we are missing resources. So it's just trying to see what I'm missing, how can I collect it. Do I have to use drones? Plot twist, I do, unfortunately. Little things like that. So that'd be the second thing I'm trying to do today. The third thing is finding out what I'm going to do with my compact core. Compact core, but this has nothing to do with compact core, right? Well, like I mentioned, this is a rocket fuel factory. And if we get this open again, I can find it. There we go. The byproduct that we actually make here from our rocket fuel factory is compact cord, and we're making 1,000 of it. So I want to try and find a use for this thing. I might even very quickly, not right now, but open up a creative world just so I can see all the recipes for compact cord nice and clearly. I suppose what I'm going to do is just burn it, because if I remember correctly, I think it's like 7.231 compact core can fit into one biomass burner per minute. And that's a lot of core generators. Sorry, core generators, not biomass burners. Sorry, core generators. But do I really want to have that many extra core generators producing not really that much power? I don't know. The obvious thing to do is just sinking it, but that is the question that we are going to be asking towards maybe like 10-15 minutes from now. After that, number 4. You're doing good, Harry Mai? I'm doing pretty good. Yeah, not doing too bad. Not that tired today. I feel pretty energized. So hopefully today should be a pretty good stream. Hoping to go for at least a couple of hours. That's the plan at least. Welcome, Modder. Hope that you're doing good. Use the access cord for steel production. That's a really good idea as well, because I believe you use a lot less iron. But yeah, I definitely do want to try and find a use for it. Absolutely. Next, start the conveyor belt highway. In fact, I can probably show you this. So over somewhere just beyond there is a conveyor belt highway that's going to continue all the way across there, through this little gap, and further up there. But the conveyor belt highway I'm talking about starts here, and it's going to go all the way across here, behind this, somewhere here, because we've got tons of resources I want to try and collect, and this is also going to be shooting off south by quite a long way as well. I'm not going to be... Oh, so look at all of this extra conveyor belt highway work. Well, technically this is pipe work, but yes. So that will be tomorrow's live stream. I want to fully dedicate to my conveyor belt highway. So that should be rather exciting, I hope. Either way, what else are we going to focus on today? That's too quick. There we go. Next up, we have to design the space elevator zone. So I'm actually going to draw out what I want this factory to look like, because it's a lot easier than me just explaining it. But luckily, it's basically a square. I'm building a square, but within the square, we're going to have different zones, different districts, and it will make a lot of sense, trust me. Well, hopefully, at least. Number 6 is designing the factory interior and exterior. So the factory that I'm talking about is everything inside of these fix-it foundations. And this is basically one little corner, so it will go somewhere like that. Again, I haven't built it yet. That's part of today's schedule program, I suppose. And then finish the outer factory design, which we're not going to get done today. It's basically the wall all the way across here. I've done this wall. In fact, I actually did the other wall first, but then it was like kind of wrong. I changed the design. This is the start of it, but again, we've got a lot more left to actually design. I've got to remake this as well. I've got to remake our drone ports thing because that got deleted. So we've got a lot to get done today. But the very first thing that I want to try and do is answer the question, what are we making? And I suppose this actually goes hand in hand with the second thing here as well, with have we got enough resources? Because I don't really want to spend too much time making something just for us to not have enough resources for it. Also, is this turned up to the loudest it can be? It is. I'll probably turn up a little bit more. I can't turn that on. There we go, brilliant. So, let's try and figure out where I've got all these resources coming in so far. And then we have to try and see if I've got enough. So, starting over here, we have got, I think this is literally just crude oil. Okay, so we do this. Wait, I'm trying to figure out the smartest way to do this. Almost. There we go. Plus, so it's 1,200 plus 450. So this is 2,850 crude oil. Let's write that down on my piece of paper. My trusty piece of paper that I literally bring. Actually, it's my notebook that I bring everywhere. 285. Okay, and in total, regarding crude oil, we need 1,500. So in theory, we have actually got more crude oil than what I need. So that could be fantastic for, again, our plastic production, our rubber production, which I think we have down here. There we go, yes. So if I actually, if I just drag this over like so, incorporate that into here. Get rid of that. Chuck that up there as well. And move you down to here. Okay, well, preferably not that. That's probably important, so I'm going to leave that there for now. Again, I haven't really touched this in so long. So I know I've done a lot of workings out for this. I just don't know what I've actually done, which doesn't really help much. Okay, right. Preferably, I want to try and bring you forward, sir. Actually, no, I don't. I want to try and do this. No, I don't. What's the easiest way to do this? I suppose... There we go, then bring you to the back. Send to back. Same thing here as well, send to back. Beautiful, it just makes me spot it a little bit easier now. Great. Also, can I try and change the shape of this? I can. Okay, I'll take it. So in total, is that how much I need in total for everything? Let's see, so 1,500, that's 3,000, 3,375, 3,038, so it would be about 4,100 for all of that, plus this here as well. So what I have to do now is this, plus 1,500, which is going to be, wrong one. 4426.5. basically 6,000. And I'm going to want to round up anyway, so we'll just go 6,000. Okay. So in theory, I now want to try and get 6,000 crude oil here, which is a lot. To be honest, that is quite a lot. I definitely don't think I've got enough for that, but let's see, maybe we do. So, now let's continue our little journey by going over here, where luckily I have got some more resources coming in. I know that I do have to collect another little cluster of crude oil. Somewhere down... I think it's actually here, isn't it? Yeah, it is there. I've already got the drone port placed down, apparently. Okay, fair enough. That's quite handy. This is one of the conveyor belt highways I was talking about. In case you don't know what a conveyor belt highway is, basically it's... Actually, I'll very quickly show you. So underneath here, I've got a ton of room for conveyor belts. So in theory, because this is supposed to be built quite high up, not necessarily built on the water, but if I was to have some iron or copper, whatever raw resource down there, I can belt it up, and then it comes up to around about here. And I think in total, I can fit somewhere around 30 conveyor belt lines worth of resources, which should end up being really, really good. Because 30 is quite a lot, but it's what we need sometimes, so it's, you know, it's important. I don't do things that aren't important. Always. Sometimes I do, to be fair. Here's one of our old blueprints. Yeah, I think our new design's a lot better. I quite like it. Also, there's a lot of rubbish underneath there. Damn. Right, so here we have got some more stuff. Regarding crude oil, we've got another 600. Let me just write that down. So... in total, regarding crude oil, we've got 3,450 coming in. Try and place this book somewhere relatively smart. There we go. 3,450 coming in. And... if we go back over here, I want to double check that I've definitely got this wrong. That's wrong. I didn't realize that this was the same as that. Okay, so I've literally just carried this over there. So then in total, I need 4,426. And I've got 3,450 coming in. So we're off by about pretty much 1,000. Okay, let me just write that down. Okay, yeah, so we need about 1,000 more crude oil, which isn't great, but again, I kind of knew that was going to happen. Next, we've got water. I've currently got 0 crude oil coming, 0 water coming in, so, yep. And in total, we need, if I'm doing both of these factories here together at least, 5,701 water. It's quite a lot. It's not dreadful, but it's not good. So 5,701. I don't think that would take us too long to actually set up. Just get a very small conveyor belt highway going up north. Have a bunch of water extractors just going into that one conveyor belt highway, which will technically be a pipe highway. And then that's basically it. So I'm not too concerned about water at all. That would be a couple days worth of content. That's how I see it, at least. So nitrogen gas. I don't think anything here involves nitrogen gas. Yo, thank you very much to Daniel for the sub. That's extremely kind of you. I do greatly appreciate that. So, nitrogen gas. We need 3,000. And currently we have got 900, 1,800. Ooh. So in total, we still need 1,200. Next, we've got coal. In total, I need 2,000 coal. Right now I've got 1,200, 1,800, 2,400, 3,000 plus. Damn, really? 4,660? Okay. Sure. I mean, that's good. I can use the majority of this coal for diamonds, which I'm pretty sure was my my plan anyway. So in total, I need 0 more. So that's fantastic. And the last thing is sulfur. I need 4,000 sulfur. I know I haven't got that. We've got 1,660, I believe that is. 7, 7, 14... 1,560, I believe that actually is. That, yeah. I corrected my call mistake there as well. So, got 1,560. We need 4,000, so we are off by how much? 1,160. Okay. Wait, no. 2,440. Okay. Brilliant. Yeah, I've fixed that one. So, regarding, if we just have a very quick look at our missions over here to the right, I say missions, this thing, we've pretty much done that. What are we making? We are making rocket fuel, we're making plastic, and rubber in this particular facility. Because I don't think I need anything else that requires crude oil here, do I? I could very quickly double check. I don't think I do. So that one's that. Let me see. I don't think these are the ones that I'm doing, is it? So I need that tab. There we go. So what I'm looking for now is basically everything here in green is something that I've allocated to a factory. So if I see anything here that's black, which is what I highlighted for crude oil, it means that I'm not using it as part of this particular factory, and I want to try and see why. And so in theory, there should be nothing. Everything should either be green or anything but black, basically. Because that's what I want. One's all done. Brilliant. Okay, so as far as what I can tell, every single drop of crude oil that I need is going to be made in this one particular factory. See, right here, for example. That would normally be like this. But because I'm using it, it's green. I hope that makes a bit of sense. Right, so we can probably tick that off there as well. Find a use for compact cord. Absolutely. So I suppose let's try and do that right now. I'm going to save this very quickly. Chuck my book round here, because that's just taking up unnecessary space on my desk. There we go. And let's just load in our creative world, which, yes, I've got 260 hours in my world where I've pretty much just been calculating recipes. I don't touch grass. Nope. And that's, I believe, since update 1.1 I've had this world, so yeah. Don't worry too much about this, all will be explained in my copper powder video. So, compact core. You are used to make turbo fuel and compact steel. That's basically it. And black powder, but I just don't care. Right. Interesting. So regarding the creation of steel ingots, I'm already making all of my steel pipes just from iron ingots. I could save a bunch of iron, but I've already got a factory sort of set out for that, so I don't want to change that too much. This is not a bad recipe. I just don't want to particularly use it, if I'm honest. I am interested in turbo fuel, particularly this recipe. A heavy ore residue. I'm sure this one would be better, but then it's too complicated for now. Black powder. I'm not going to waste even more sulfur for black powder. Am I making heavy ore residue as a byproduct from anything over here? Let's see. In theory, actually, yes. So I'm making... Oh, wait. Is all the byproducts from this going into that? We've got 500 from there. Wait, what have I done here? Sometimes it's quite important for me to figure out the bullshit that I'm making. Right. So here we're making 1,000 rubber with 1,000 heavy ore residue. I've got 500 spare heavy ore residue from here. Let's write that down. Change the background here as well to a reddish sort of colour. There we go. So 500 as a byproduct. Here we are going to have 25 as a byproduct, which is basically nothing, but it's still good to know. Because this can't back up. Actually, it can't. Because the problem is, right, if I don't do anything with this heavy ore residue and it backs up, I'm not going to be able to make any rubber. If I can't make my rubber, I then can't make my plastic. If I can't make my plastic, I then can't do whatever I'm doing with that. So it's actually quite important that I do actually use that. Right, over here we then have 100. Like so. Next up. That's 188. Heavy ore residue. And the last one is basically nothing, but it's still important. Well, I have to note it down. It's roughly 37.5 per minute. Just like that. Okay. So now I can add all of these up. It's going to be a lot less than that, I can tell you that for a fact. But I'm actually completely fine with that, because maybe I'm not going to make petroleum coke with this. Maybe I've got different plans now, but let's see. So. Got 500. Plus 25, 125 plus 40, 165. Plus 188 is 853. So, we are now making 853 heavy ore residue there as a byproduct from making all of our rubber and plastic. Okay. If there's anything you could do heavy oil for, tons. Petroleum coke, and I'm using petroleum coke for my aluminium. So there's a lot I can do with this. So that's what I'm kind of interested in here. So, in fact, the numbers here are wrong. Okay, right. Let's see. What do I need for this again? It's a refinery. Okay, good. So it's not a blender. That's decent. And this is the recipe I was quite interested in. I've got 1,000 compact coal, and then I'm going to say 800 heavy ore residue, although it's 853, so I might as well just do it correctly. Have I got any shards? I think I've got some shards somewhere that I can just use to overclock this for a second. Ignore all of this, by the way. This will make absolutely no sense, but I promise it will make sense in an upcoming video. Stay tuned! It's crap. No, I'm joking. It's not that bad. So I suppose when it comes to heavy oil residue, I want to try and get this as close to 85 or 85.3 as possible. Uh, 85. There we go, 85.3. So times it all by 10. That means I'm going to be using 683 compact coal. So I've still got 317 compact coal that I'm not doing anything with. And from that, I can make 682, 83 almost, turbo fuel. Okay. That's not bad. Because then when I try and burn this turbo fuel, am I going to get much from it? One would assume so. But you never know. 7.5. Okay, so what I have to try and do now is do 682 divided by 7.5. Which is 90. Now I've got to times 250, which is the amount of megawatts I get for one of these. Let me just double check that's definitely correct. I think it is 250, right? Right, I suppose the easiest way to figure this out, because I'm on my creative world, I can just very quickly do this. Wait, do you take packaged turbo fuel? I really hope you do, but actually, I don't know. Doesn't matter. I'm fairly certain it is 250. So, 90 times 250 is an additional 22,000 megawatts worth of power. Not including how much it's going to cost me to actually run these refineries. Which is going to be 22 of these? Just 30 megawatts? 30 times by 22, 660. So let's say 1,000. So I'm still making a minimum of 20,000 megawatts there. So I think that's what I'm going to do then. Let me just write down all the maths that we just did, because that was generally quite a lot of shenanigans. So, got 1,000 compact coal. Can I try and move my mic back just a little bit for now? Got 1,000 compact coal. And then we have... Can you guys still hear me okay, by the way? Let me know. I am shouting, but let me know. 853 heavy ore residue. Actually, it might be... Right. It might be easier if I just do it on here. So you guys can see it as well. So what I'm going to do is this. Yeah. Heavy ore residue. 853. Then compact coal just remains the same, that's completely fine. Then what we are going to do is then combine our 853 heavy ore residue with how much compact coal? Well, I suppose we can get our answer here. What was it again? 66.22? Is that what it was? No, it can't have been. 67? No. 66.4. There we go. So, got there in the end. Wait, no. Wait. I'm trying to get to 853. So 85. Oh, you can't even see it because my webcam's in the way. Doesn't matter. 85.3 is what I'm trying to get to. We're on 83 so far. Too much. 85. Nope. We're close. This is the reason why I've got to constantly double check these things. Before you know it, I forgot the maths. 68.24. Okay. 68.24. 682.4, because again, we're timing it all by 10. Brilliant. And I'm using all of that there as well. So now I've got to try and do 1000 minus 682.4. It shouldn't be too bad. Which is 317.6. No, please just work. There we go. So after this, we're going to have 0 heavy ore residue left over, but 317 compact coal. That's basically what I wanted to try and figure out right there. Also, do let me know if you guys can't see anything, because what I see on my monitor is slightly different to what you guys see, because of my webcam and everything else being in the way. So for example, when I've got everything here, you might not be able to see what I'm doing. So just let me know if you want me to show you what I'm doing. Might make a bit more sense. So these then combine to form our turbo fuel, which isn't too bad. And I believe that's how much we're making now as well, isn't it? So do that. Do that here as well. Lovely. So 682.4 turbo fuel. Great. Then this turbo fuel, we said, can produce how much power? It was times it by 90 times by 250. Roughly 22,500. Isn't too bad. Get rid of all of that. There we go. Okay, brilliant. Then just send this to back for a quick second. Brilliant. Okay. Now we've still got 317.6 compact core left over. If I was to use a coal generator for that, it just wouldn't even be worth it, I don't think. The burn rate is 7.143. So 317 divided by 7.143 is 40. I've got to place down 44 of these. Which gives me how much power? 75? Yeah. Which is about 3,000 megawatts. Yeah, just, no. Not worth it, unfortunately. So the second option is to sink it. The third option is just to transport it somewhere. Where? I don't know. It doesn't sink for much, I'm pretty sure. That's the problem. If it sank for a lot, then it's worth it. Also, bear in mind, compact coal requires a good bit of sulfur. So I don't really want to be wasting too much. I know I'm not wasting it, but I don't want to be, in theory, wasting all that sulfur. Again, I think what I'll do to start off with, this is far in the future, but I think I'm going to sink it temporarily. Then when I eventually get enough resources for maybe more drone ports, I can then transport it via drone, because that's only about 3 stacks, 3 and a bit stacks. A drone can carry 9 stacks worth of stuff. So it's not bad. You can do almost a 3-minute trip. With just 1 drone. If I get 2 drones, I'm sorted for most of the map. Transport that to the iron factory. And maybe in some instances use less iron and then just combine it with a bunch of compact coal. Better than wasting it. I suppose that's the only other thing we can really do, isn't it, with compact coal? It's either turbo fuel, black powder, which I'm just not doing, and steel. I mean, the ratio is fine. I would never do this normally unless I had compact coal as a byproduct. So we'll see what that ends up saying. Yeah, we can do it. Because if I've got 300, that means I can produce 1,200 steel ingots. Granted, I do need about 600 iron, but still, 600 iron, 300 compact coal, 1,200 ingots. That's not bad at all. So I will most likely look into that. If I was to do the maps right now, what it would mean is this. Here's. Iron ore times all this by 2, 6, 2, 3, 6, 3, 4, 6, 3, 5, 2. I know I do my multiplication backwards. Ignore it. Ignore it. I know you're supposed to start on this side. I just find that more difficult in my head. So, combine that together. And that is 1,200. Minimum 1,200, isn't it? 317.6 times by 4. Oh, okay. 1,270.4. Iron ingots. A few days ago I was talking about Total Warhammer 3, or Total War Warhammer 3. I've had to start my save all over again with a different faction. The reason being was the 4 biggest factions in the game declared war on me in the space of 3 turns. Both on my north, east, and southern fronts as well. So I was fighting the 3 of the biggest factions. The 4th one I was about to kill. With huge 40, 50 man armies all coming towards me. I had nothing on my south or north border because I was fighting east. But then, yeah. So I literally had to just start all over again. I could have probably recovered, but it would have been boring. I was fighting orcs and vampires and some mythical beasts. Anyway, just thought I'd let you guys know about that. So that is what we are going to be doing with our compact coal. That segment took a little bit longer than what I thought it would. However, having said that, this has been bugging me. So it's nice that I've also fixed this scenario over here. Now we've come to a nice little conclusion with that. Right, so what do I even do first? I suppose first things first, I need turbo fuel for my drones. Because I need drones to collect more of my resources. So, if I was to build one of these out first. How about this one? Yeah, it's pretty big. That's 500. I don't need 500. Yeah, that way. That's 100 heavy ore residue. How much turbo fuel can I get from that with 100 heavy? Okay, it's close enough. 80 turbo fuel. But then I need 80 compact coal. I haven't got compact coal. Which means that in order for us to get our turbo fuel, I have to do this first. Is there anything else I can use for my drones just temporarily? Because I feel like this is my biggest problem, is that I'm trying to do everything all at once. But like, have you ever seen like those recycling images, or like those circular patterns where you start there, then it leads to this, leads to that, then leads to that. But then the last thing also leads to the first thing again. It all just goes around in one continuous loop. That's what I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to make something, but then to make that thing, it requires something else. Then to make that, it requires something else. Then to make this thing is what I wanted to make originally. It goes around in a massive circle, and I can't seem to try and find an entrance point to it. So what I can try and do is just try and find a temporary solution to our drones. I am insistent on using drones, by the way. I'm not doing batteries. I could use some of our rocket fuel. In fact, wait, doesn't batteries require quite a lot of... Oh wait, I think this is for our batteries. Oh. Have I got the maths for that here somewhere? No, it's this one, I think. Yeah, it's down here. So to make 1,000 batteries, which granted is a lot more than what I actually need, it requires, again, a lot more sulfur. Plastic, wire. Can't really do that because, again, I need aluminium. Well, I could temporarily do it. This is surprisingly difficult. Like, there is an answer. Well, this is my plan, by the way. I should probably explain what I'm doing. That's our rocket fuel factory. Everything in purple is the highway. Conveyor belt highways I've already built. Everything in yellow is what I want to try and build. And then everything in blue, which is just this line, is what I want to get my drones with. So we got a bunch of crude oil and some sulfur down there as well. I could just package up this crude oil and transport it to a conveyor belt highway, whichever's closest. Or even just get this one. But the thing is, though, I need the sulfur as well. So, yeah. It's a big project. It really is a big project. I think it'll be worth it. I think. But yeah, that's the plan. So I've already got all of this crude oil coming in, which is great. And I've got everything over here, which you can't actually see it. But there's a bunch of coal over here as well. Sulfur, nitrogen gas. We need a bunch more nitrogen gas from up here as well. And some more sulfur. And this is the conveyor belt highway I was talking about a little bit earlier on. So this is going to continue down to here, across there. We'll have a couple more lines shooting up here when I build more factories in this direction, most likely. But as of right now, yeah, not really too much more I can do with that. So, let me just get this back here for a second. I mean, that doesn't really answer our question. Well, I suppose it answers one of our questions. What am I going to do with the compact coal? But now it's, what do I make first? In theory, what I could do is make as much of this as possible. Because the only thing I'll be actually missing out on is a little bit of sulfur. If I get the entire conveyor belt highway done, I'm just missing out on sulfur. But how much? That's now our next question. Wait, I go back over here. So, we're getting 600, 1,200, 1,800, plus 1,540. So we're out by about 700. Oh, we've got that coming in there as well, which shouldn't be too bad. All this crude oil. More crude oil, yes, more. And that right there is about 300. Isn't it? Yeah, 300. Add that to here. It's 3,600, so I do need that. Is there any other sulfur I can collect? That one, but that's so far away. I mean, you know what I might actually just do? Belt that from here to there. Just temporarily. So then what I can do is I will then have enough resources to make all of this. I've got enough of everything at that point because I can just collect it via the conveyor belt highway. So I can make all of my rocket fuel, start producing power and whatnot, then make my compact coal. After I've got a steady flow of compact coal and a pretty steady flow of heavy ore residue, which, in all fairness, I will have to use straight away. Actually, that's part of our different... No, that's part of a different factory. Because I can't have this heavy ore residue being built up, because then it's going to block my entire system. Oh well. So we'll do this project first. We'll get everything here out of the way with. Then we'll move on to this. And that. Yeah. Okay, sound. So, that was a bit of a conundrum, but we managed to figure everything out, which is fantastic. Let me now just load in... I'll save again. But yeah, thank you very much to everyone who's tuning in today, by the way. I hope that everyone's having a nice day so far. My day has been pretty sound. I went out for a run today. It was 8 degrees, and I didn't feel cold at all. I was wearing shorts and t-shirt, with a hat on, to be fair. And also, it was the first time in my life that my hat steamed. There was steam coming from my hat, which I thought was pretty cool. That's just because I was warm. Okay, so we've found a use for our compact coal, which is brilliant. Start the conveyor belt highway. Nice. Okay, this actually sounds like a pretty fun thing to do. Again, I'm literally only going to go forwards by about 3 or 4 foundations. The reasoning behind that is because tomorrow, I want, if I'm alive tomorrow, hopefully not, no, sorry, if I stream tomorrow, I want to try and fully dedicate that entire stream to our conveyor belt highway. So there's no point me finishing it today, then tomorrow just having the title saying something about a conveyor belt highway, then not doing anything regarding that. So, yeah. Also, I did say that I was going to try and make the floor for this thing. I'll do that in just a sec after I do this. Because I realised I haven't actually made that its own category just yet. After start conveyor belt highway, it's the design the space elevator zone. I'll do that after I do the foundation there for my logistics floor. Which, in case you haven't seen that before, by the way, it's actually alright. I really like my idea behind this. I've got a huge logistics floor planned. Huge. And that's completely intentional, by the way. And yeah, this blueprint looks good. Everything's lining up where it should be. The only problem, like I was talking about before, is this blueprint. It's gone. Which is kind of annoying. I can remake it. In fact, I'll probably end up doing that. Not tomorrow. Can't be asked. Maybe Tuesday. I'm not here Monday, so it would be Tuesday. Okay, which direction are you now facing? I didn't actually see. If I just get this placed in again. There we go. So that's 001, 002, 003. It's junction, corner, no. 4, 5, 6, 7. 6, 7. There we go, thank you. I'm missing concrete already? Oh yeah, because I didn't start with any. Fair enough. So if I was to build, let's say, 3 of these. I'll go with 5. Wow, very decisive. We're going to need a fair bit of concrete. We are also going to need some other bits and bobs here as well, such as no. Oh, right. What's this one then? Oh, that's the junction. What is that? ET. Power tower? That's the corner for the power tower. Okay, I know what I'm doing now. So I need this one, 003. The reason for that is because I have power towers running alongside my builds, and I think that actually looks quite cool in total. I'm a bit, what's the word? Biased because it's my own build, but to be fair, I am my harshest critic. Whenever I say something looks nice, it's probably not too bad, because if it looks good, I'd probably still say it was shite. I've just been like that my entire life, though. I know some people say it's unhealthy. I don't. I think it's actually fine. I think it's very important to judge yourself. Not necessarily extremely harshly, but I think it's important to set a standard for yourself. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. In fact, it can be small things like when you get up in the morning, you have to brush your teeth. I know a lot of people do that anywhere, but that's still a standard for yourself. If you don't meet that standard, then you probably should. Aim to meet your standards. Okay, so I think I've placed this one... fuck. There we go. I didn't panic there at all. It might have sounded like I was panicking. No. Now I need you. So the arrow is facing south. Roger, okay. But if I plop you into here... You're different from that, hopefully? Yes. So the way that I've done this is that I've actually made, in theory, the same blueprints, but with two different features. So this feature right here is where I connect my power tower to. Whereas the Flintstones would say my yabba dabba doo. Sorry, that was terrible. Wow, that's my second Flintstones reference of like the week, by the way. So plop that there, plop it around the other side, then go into power tower. And place it, and place it here. Nope. Place it here. There you go, close enough. That'll then just use itself down there, except I probably won't do this one, because I am going to have an extra blueprint coming out of here, but you guys get the gist. So that was 2, I now need to go back to 1. Make sure you're facing the right way. And the reason why it's important for everything to face south is because if I don't, this will end up happening. These two will just end up going into each other, which I really don't want. So to stop that from happening, I do this. Oh, okay. Oh, I've done that already. Okay, wait. There we go. Then you guys connect. And temporarily, you're going to connect to something here. If I can squeeze in that little hole. No, apparently not. That's fine, I'll just run it underneath here for a sec. I mean, you would have thought I would have added something along here, but guess not. Actually, no, I wouldn't have. No, I wouldn't have, because I've literally just placed these things down. The last time I was in this area, at least. Which was quite a long time ago. I am really happy to return to this project. I actually meant to return to this project towards the start of December. Like December... Ooh... 7th? So, I am about 2 weeks behind. Yeah, that adds up, actually. Because then we had all the Fixmas stuff. I was expecting Fixmas to take 2 days, maybe 3 days at most. It took a lot longer. So, yeah. Oh, well. So, I want to try and extend this. And tomorrow, again, this is what I'll be spending quite a lot of my time doing. And it might seem a little bit weird that I'm doing this, but trust me, it's very important. Because if I don't, then, well, it's bad. I need resources. I haven't got enough resources. How do I get resources? By bringing in resources. Simple as pie. Or facing the right way. And also, you will now be able to spot that these two slot in perfectly. There is now no gap in between this and that. It just slots in. Because that's kind of how I designed it. There's no gaps there. It's perfect, basically. It's perfect for what I need. Everyone's needs are different. But for my personal needs, I don't want anything else. So, yep. This is going to look shite, isn't it? Oh, actually, no, it looks fine. Okay, so what I do want to try and do now, I suppose, is our little power towers. I say little, they're actually average size. Bring it in there by one, bring it out. Has anyone in the chat, by the way, seen the new Avatar movie? I know I was talking a little bit about this yesterday. I spent like at least half an hour talking about it. If so, what's your opinions about it? I've heard differing opinions. I thought it was fine. I think some of the acting was a little bit weak in some places. If I'm honest, I didn't think it was terrible. Some people are saying it's like a dreadful movie. I don't think it was. I thought it was very fine. Okay, then regarding this, why didn't I... Oh yeah, no, that's fine, because I'm not doing anything with this particular one. That one. There we go. And then this is how our power towers are going to work. I've placed it just so that this is not submerged underwater. If there was a tsunami, we'll be screwed, but luckily we're not playing, like, City Skylines 2, so we don't have to worry too much about that. If they were to add natural disasters into this game, I would cry. Submit your factory for the lols? Maybe one day, yeah. You haven't seen it? Yeah, I don't think a lot of people will. Well, a lot of people will, but in the theatre that I went to go see it in, it was the day it came oh dear. It was the day it came out. Granted, it was at like 11, so most of the population of Britain doesn't wake up until about 6 PM. No, that's just university students. But I was expecting it to be packed, and I would say it was maybe fifth or actually less than that, maybe an eighth as full as it could have been. Is this the blue people? Yeah, the blue people. Yes. Avatars. Hey, thank you very much to Deckard B for the sub. Welcome. Thank you very much for subscribing, and I hope that you enjoy your stay. Okay, so I can get rid of all that conveyor belt highway stuff. We've pretty much done it now. Let's do that. So the next thing that I want to try and do, that isn't written on here, is to add in our logistics floor. Let me give you a very quick tour. It looks a little bit crap from this side, but eventually it's going to end up looking a little bit like this, which I actually quite... You're not lined up. Which I actually quite like. It's huge. It's 1, 2, 3 and a bit. That's like what, 16 meters tall in total, which is not too bad at all. I'm very happy with that. We've got tons of room here for activities. We've got a little bit of a road network happening in here as well, because I wanted to add a little underground tunnel, I suppose, into one of our factories. And I don't necessarily know how far back I'm going to go with this, but what I want to actually try and test out is if I was to make a blueprint of just concrete foundations, would this be easier than hand placing everything? Because I'm pretty sure it will be. I've done something very similar to this before. Will you add a stone-like platform to hold up the pipes? Yeah. I suppose I could. Like a little column. Because the thing is, as you say, this is quite a big room, so I probably do need something here just to hold up everything. Which I can do. I'll make it look quite nice. We'll design something interesting. And eventually, when all these walls are fully covered up, I think it's going to end up looking really cool. And bear in mind, this goes really far back. What you see up to here, it's only halfway as far back as I'm actually going to go. Same with this direction as well. This is only halfway. I'll be going as far back, eventually, not right now, as this. So, it's a rather large project. Oh dear. I'm going to call this concrete foundation. Oh, nice. I always do that. Concrete foundation, 001. The reason why it's 001, you'll see in just a sec. It's not that exciting, but yeah. Nope. That's the one I always use. That's the 2-meter one, I'm pretty sure. Okay, then if I just do this. No. What? Am I blind? Where's the 1-meter concrete foundation? That's coated concrete. There isn't one. Okay, for how long has there not been a concrete 1-meter foundation as an icon browser? Does it actually matter? No. When I sentence it like that, it's not even remotely important. But at the same time, though, it should still be here. There's everything else other than concrete. If I was to go 2 meters, and concrete shows up. Okay. I have to make an instant complaint of that to the devs. Instant. If that isn't fixed by tomorrow, we're staging a protest. I'm boycotting Satisfactory. Why? I don't know. Okay, so in total, you're 15 meters up. Yep, 15. Right. So now what I'm going to do is a second design of this, which is going to involve, as you say, the pillar. There we go. So what I'm going to do here is a big concrete pillar. The biggest concrete pillar you've ever seen. I'm actually going to start it up here, I think. Am I? Wait, it doesn't really matter. That looks fine. That isn't all I'm going to do, by the way. That's it, I'm done now, yep. I'm actually going to paint this a slightly darker colour here. Then what we are going to do is some stuff. I know some stuff. Is it going to involve signs? Maybe. But to be fair, when have I ever built anything in this game involving signs? It never happens. It's pretty much like once in a blue moon at this point. And what even is a sign? Actually, to be fair, there's about 1,000. Okay, I've told a porky. I've told a lie. There's tons of signs around it. I can do hypertube stuff. Yep. I suppose. Then one up here. There we go, lovely. Now all we have to try and do is just copy and paste this around here. Doesn't matter if it's facing up, doesn't matter if it's facing down. As long as it's facing somewhere, then that is fine. There's not really too much more I can add. There's a 1 meter concrete foundation there. I couldn't find it though. Oh. Oh, but it's called NA? Yeah, that makes sense. It's called NA. So I'm guessing in either yesterday's update or an update from before, it apparently just changed a bunch of things to NA. Damn. Well, now we know, at least. Anything else I want to try and add to this? I don't want to do too much. I want this to be nice and simple. What the... I know I say I want it to be simple, then I start whipping out things like this, but I just want to try and see if I can do anything else. I know what I want to try and do here. I know exactly what I want to try and do here. Absolutely, I want to try and do this. Yep. I want to turn these into little power providers as well. That's huge. So that can go up there. Then I suppose the last thing I'd even look at is this. Would you look nicer if you had this here? Preferably in the right location. I don't know. I almost prefer you without it. Get a couple of them up and around there. Granted, you can barely even see it, but oh well. And it doesn't snap either, which doesn't really help. Is that good enough? Yeah, as long as they're roughly in line, then that's fine. That's pretty good. Okay, so let's get rid of everything on top of here. Grand. And save this as 002. Connect the last wire. Did I not connect it? 1, 1, 2, 2. So what didn't I do? That one. There we go. So now when it comes to this foundation, I suppose because I want to add these in, I might have to get rid of everything here. Also, I forgot about these roads. What am I going to do if there's a road in the way? If these roads were only temporary, well, not temporary, but like this design underneath here was only temporary. I still don't know fully what I'm going to be doing with these, because I like the idea of these entering the projects from this little underground pass. I like the idea of it being open as well, I think. I think what I am going to do, I remember actually talking about, yeah, okay. So I am going to continue adding in this basic wall coming all the way around here. Then if I do want to transport items from this side to that side, just add in these little conveyor wall holes. I'm completely fine with that. But now is the question of how far, like, do I want to continue this wall all the way down from... How did that even get placed? What? Okay. From all the way up here down to there. Because, I mean, that's a lot of wall, basically. I don't know. I don't think I want to do this. What I might prefer is this. Do one more there as well. I have to do a 1 meter one here. So that's that. I think then what I'm going to do is actually start this here. I know it's built slightly off of the grid compared to everything else, which is kind of annoying, but oh well. Concept's the same. Oh yeah, because you're 1.5, aren't you? Oh. Forgot about that. Now, the odds of anything actually coming down here is very slim. Oh well. I might want to have a truck here in the future. Potentially some Cybertrucks. Oh yeah, I was talking about those fluid trucks as well coming into update 1.2. I'll have to look into that as well. we go. You're going to come to there. You're then going to continue over here as well. Making sure that these are all lined up. Okay. Then regarding the top of this, I have gone over here at least. Yeah, actually, I understand that. Yep. I've gone with this design. I say this design, it's literally just a wall, but yeah. I mean, some people think a wall is fantastic, so... I kind of want to remove this temporarily. I say temporarily, it's going to be gone forever. Kind of. Yes, but actually no. I'm just going to add a road barrier in here now. There we go. Then I suppose you only really need to come up to around about here for now. If I needed to come out a bit further later, I can always just do that. That's not a problem. But for right now, I don't need to do that, so I won't do that. There we go. And then you come out a little bit too far, but that's fine because you're lined up with that, so I don't actually mind too much about that. Now, a little bit more about this. Let's see, because the road goes all the way around there. So is this the height that I want for everything else then? I think so, yeah. That seems a bit shorter than what I've just built. Okay, that's only 13. I've built it up to 15, which goes inside of the ceiling, so I can't obviously do that. I've got to redesign one of my blueprints. It's a bit of a shame. We can then get rid of this temporarily. That one over there can then come up to here. Don't know how far, but as far as I need to. There we go. One of them in there. Let's just continue these foundations across it. Brilliant. And then, yeah, just continue these foundations, basically. All the way across here. So I have got to do a little bit of recalculations, but that's completely fine. Pretty basic to do anyway, so yeah, it's not that bad. Now, when it comes to this, I think I want you to come up to around about here, maybe? Let's see. I suppose you can't, actually. There. That's where I want you to come out to. Okay. Put it in the middle and put yellow, white dotted driving lines. I am thinking about the lines, yes. I'll do that eventually. When it comes to this, just build it up by one more. Okay. That's as best as we can do regarding all of that. And it looks fine, I suppose. Have I got anything here? I don't. No. Definitely get stuff over there, then. Okay. So this now looks okay. It looks exactly how I thought it was going to end up looking. So that's fine. And regarding this... Let's see. I'm going to design this a little bit differently than what I've done to the other side. Can I please? Thank you. Go to them. you've actually got to come down by a little bit more. Like so. And there, yep, that's fine. You're gonna come up by 2. And you go here. Now what I'm gonna try and make sure that I do is paint everything the right color. Which, you're not carbon steel, are you? No, you're just grey? No, you're black. Okay. Interesting. I prefer the way that looks a lot, actually, compared to just that. And from up here, I know it's going to look a little bit weirder, because you actually are going to see the logistics floor. Which, I don't know if I hate, but it's what I'm going to do, so let's find out then, I suppose. Oh, okay. Only been live for an hour. Damn. I thought I've been live for like 2.5 hours. No, today's stream's going a little bit slower than usual. Mentally, at least. Wonder why. I haven't really got too much done. Well, I suppose maths-wise, we've actually got some very important things done. So that is good. Do I need that there? I think so. Since I'm adding this ceiling up here, I might as well incorporate this ceiling into the blueprints. Let's see then, if I just get rid of that. That'll make sense, I think. Okay, next. For like 45 minutes. Must just be me then. Nope, black. There we go. Lovely. Then what I could do here if I really wanted to is this. Where's the middle is? Here, isn't it? That's always a possibility. I just don't like it though. But I guess it's not a possibility then. I do like the idea of having this here, but then it will just hit the trucks, won't it? So then it's going to pop out by a little bit more. So if I have this going all the way around, I'm hoping it will take away from the fact it looks hideous. Let's see. Does it? I think it helps a little bit. Only a little bit, but it does something. Definitely does something. But now that I know I like this idea, we can definitely do a couple redesigns now on the other ramp. Let's then add in the ceiling to the blueprint and then also lower down the height as well a little bit. Gonna go there. Same thing here. And same thing here. Do I like the fact that you are here? What do you even connect to? Like where do you go? Oh, bloody hell. I could have my power running across here. What would that look like though? Just again, I'm experimenting here, chat. Experimenting in the kitchen. I don't know. So how would this look? that. I want to go with this. Yep. Because firstly, it sticks out like a sore thumb. Secondly, it sticks out like a sore thumb. Oh. Which, as you can tell by my reaction, I both like but don't like the fact it's here. Why are you like that? Oh my god. Okay. Sorry. I like this. I am thinking, though, to again turn this into a blueprint. Let's do it. I mean, I've got nothing to lose. I've got literally nothing to lose. So, we've got 3 things I want to try and change. First of all, I only want you to come up by 13 rather than 15, which is a pretty significant difference. The next thing is next. No. I want you to come up to the very edge. I can now get rid of all this. Not all of it. This. So that I can establish my new ceiling now with this. I've got to get rid of a few of these. I mean, it's not a complete redesign, it's just a rethinking, is how I'd phrase it. Also, are you too high up now? With the readjustments? I kind of hope not, because that would actually then require a redesign. I wonder if I can actually do this now without having to merge any of these into each other. I believe I probably can. How's that looking? That's in the right location at least. That's fine. Then now all we have to try and do is this. And that's going to end up looking fine. It's not going to win any medals for being beautiful, nor do I necessarily want it to. I think this would actually look quite nice here. A bit lower down. There we go. Oh, why have you been built? Wait, did I do that? Whoops. Have you ever done anything so stupid that makes you question, was that you that actually did it? That was what I just experienced right there. You are a little bit too low, I'd say. There we go. Okay, I think now this blueprint here is done. I want to continue with that. Yes. Now what I've got to do is completely get rid of everything here and save that as 001. Which now that I see this angle, I've actually added a bunch of random stuff to this, haven't I? Oh well. So much for keeping it simple. No, I suppose it is simple, really. Yeah. Now, for the next blueprint down there, I'm going to call it Roads... No. Rocket Fuel Roads 001. I don't think I've actually got that as a thing, do I? The Rocket Fuel Factory. Exterior. No, this isn't really exterior. It's more like interior. Yep. It's for our logistics floor. Apply changes. Then get you lots to here. Apply. What's you? Oh, okay. That's probably exterior. We'll have to wait and see on that one, I think. Because you guys are definitely exterior. You're just stairs. Add a subcategory. We're going to call this one rocket fuel roads. Where I can then add you lot down here. That's going to move eventually into something. I suppose you're technically... There we go. Everything just looks a little bit neater now. With you lot, what I then want to try and do is chuck you into the conveyor belt highway section. Round about there. Then you go into here. Ramp, PT, junction, corner. Only one of my ramps got saved. I've actually got to... Oh, I've got to redo all the ramps. That's annoying. Oh well. Connectors? I don't think I've got any connectors, do I? Well... Junction and... Yeah, well... I need to remove that. Anything else here? Supply changes. Wall mini. I know what that's for. That's part of our coal power plant. Which again, all of our blueprints are gone. Apply. Train stand. I know what that is. That's part of our coal power plants. I can delete that. That's all our Fixber stuff. So I'm actually going to add a subcategory here for it. Because I built it in the same district as all of our coal power plant stuff. You again, you're going to go there. Curve 001, that was just me experimenting. But I suppose we can call that part of the coal district because it technically was built there. I can remove that, that's fine. Apply changes. Okay, so now what I want to try and design is literally this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're going to go up there, then 1.5. Okay. It's not too bad now, is it? Great. Although I don't actually want to build you on this. Let me just remove that. Ensure that I carry this across. I think we're going to go back here by 2. Lovely. The next thing for us to do is to add in this. Build it up. Not too high, but high enough. Just like so. There we go. Add these all the way along here. In fact, how tall can I build you? Because right now you're 3, aren't you? 3. 3 and 1 nudge. Okay. Not too bad. That's 3. Otherwise, I am completely fine with the cutter. Beautiful, then do the exact same thing over here on this side. There's not really any more I want to try and add here, if I'm honest with you. Because that's going to be touching the ceiling there. So yeah, I think this should actually be fine. One second, sorry. there's a Christmas thing happening in our town, which I wasn't aware about until about, well, just now. I was looking forward to going for it, but now I'm live, so I don't think I can go. That's a shame. So I'm wondering, like, I keep wondering. I feel a little bit like Shane from The Walking Dead. Hey, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. I was wondering this, I was wondering that. I was actually wondering regarding this. Is there any more decoration I can try and add along here? I don't really know if this is going to look nice. I like it. I can't tell you why I like it. I haven't got evidence, but I do. So, yeah. Now what I want to try and do is... Logistics? No, cancel. Architecture. Add some road barriers down here. How would that look? This is where I experiment before I save it as a blueprint. I don't mind that. It adds a little bit of colour. I just don't know if that's what I want. Last thing. It probably won't be the last thing, let's be honest. Last thing in theory. Why can't I snap? Oh, hello. That's why I couldn't snap it. Now you're facing the wrong way. Nice. What if I then painted you white? What if I just painted everything white? Like that. No. How about without these? I like that. Okay, so we'll go with that. Let's go. Let's go. This is coming together. Oh, I did build two there. Okay. Same thing here. I think that is it. I can try and maybe add in some not decoration, some markings along here. No. No, that's not even visible. Great. No. Well, the thing is I can, but I don't want to. I'm not going to split the road. That makes no sense. I mean, that could make sense, but I don't want to have that. I like the way this looks, but then I can't have it on this side because of the way I've designed it. What I can try and do, though, is this. Like so. Maybe change the color of it as well. No. You can go black and yellow. There we go. So what am I going to title this? There's a couple similar things to what I've built down here, isn't there? Off-ramp. 005? That's the actual ramp. That's a ramp. That's a... What is that? Oh, I know what that's for. Okay. Let's try this. Yes, perfect. We've got the right name. Vehicle-wise, vehicle. It's a truck. The background color probably won't be correct. Oh. Did I use a special background thing for it? Where the heck's my blueprint? Hello? Did I not save it? What? What the heck's all of this? Oh yeah. Where the hell is my blueprints? Save. Blueprint name already in use. Am I blind? 1, 2, 3, 4. Should I try and reload? Let me try and exit to the main menu, then reload, because it's saying that there's nothing there. And then it's saying that I've overwritten my save, which is... well, it's possible. Let's see. I'm happy that we managed to get today's maths problem solved. The only downside is that I have to still collect a lot more resources before I can get this thing operational. Which is the long way of saying lots of work, but hopefully... There we go. But hopefully it should be fairly fun, to be honest. Would I be doing this and spending thousands of hours on a game that I didn't find fun? If I was a League of Legends player, then the answer would be yes, but I don't. Stop singing. It's the same bloody song. Okie dokies. Store. That should now be built. Just thinking to myself out loud here. This is now the lowest that we can go in theory. So when I build the exterior of my factory, which will go from that corner to that corner, what I might want to try and do is go up a little bit. Because what I've actually built so far, the only thing that I've built is the actual entrance. Well, I say it's the entrance, I'm still experimenting with it, but I believe this is what I wanted to be as the proposed entrance. Which will go here. No. There. So this is the center bit right here. I think that could look quite nice as the centerpiece. Concrete shooting up there from the middle, a little bit of glass as well. If I have this on all four sides, that could look quite interesting. I don't know how tall this is going to be. I don't know how big this is going to be. The easiest thing I can do is just place down the four walls on each side, and then see from there how big this factory is actually going to end up. I don't know what I'm actually building here. As dumb as that sounds, I know what I'm building, right? It's this. But I don't know how much room this is going to take up. I could actually just find out, right? But as far as an entrance goes, I think this actually ends up looking quite nice. Again, I'm trying to go for that Halo sort of feel. It's not finished, I don't think. There's little bits I want to try and add, so like more lights in here, for example. Something around there, potentially. But the way it's going to end up looking is that there's going to be that coming down to here. Then one more of these. Back to this wall. And yeah, that's basically the design. Like that. Maybe close it off. Then do two more again. Because the thing is, I find it quite difficult sometimes to get that balance between glass and then not overdoing it with the glass, because then it just looks a little bit weird. Like, for example, right there, I think I've overdone it with the glass. We'll see. And then the next question is, what design do I actually want to try and go with? Well, that looks fine. For now. What if I then try to rotate this V up, well, the upside down V, like a proper V, like this, and have some sort of wall going up around there in the same sort of pattern? That could look sick. And that could literally start here. Like that. So you start... Okay, right. Well, yeah, it doesn't matter. It's a concept. I've got a good idea for that, though, which is nice. But the main reason why I did that is also to see... Firstly, how does it look from inside of here? And then secondly, how much room have I got? So this is probably going to have to come out by at least one foundation. Like so. Then you just do your thing. Everything that I build will then be built on this level. It's asphalt, so that's what I want it to look like anyway. Okay. Okay. That's good. We've got a lot to improve on, so let's get rid of this. I know I just placed it down, but now that I've built it in the blueprint designer, it means I can just plop it down easier. So I'm actually quite happy with that. And regarding this, you're a little bit bigger actually, aren't you? Which is fine. There we go. How big are you? You're 1, 2, you're 4. Okay. So what I can do there then is continue my design here. Can I preferably just get rid of one of the things here? No. Let's go into blueprints. Go off ramp 005. Because you start here. 1, 2, 3, 4. There. And get rid of all of this side. That should be it. Yeah, no. I forgot about this. That should be us. Great. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I know that's going to copy over a lot of these markings, but that's fine. What we'll do is this. Like that. And this wall can continue with you. Yeah, this is so much easier. Who would have thought making things in a blueprint designer is actually simple? Wow. Well, I never. Okay. The next thing, and I'm hoping that this pattern can still, or the marker, can still appear through the road barrier, and it does. Okay. I don't think there's anything I want to add here in the middle, if I'm honest with you. And that should be it for this blueprint. I mean, it's as simple as you can get. It really is. But sometimes simplicity is just better. Then call it that. Right. Yeah, as I was mentioning before though, I am actually quite excited about the liquid trucks. That's kind of what I'm planning this for It's for those liquid trucks. I just don't know what it's going to end up looking like. It's a bit of a... Well, and productivity as well, if it's actually worth it. I'm going to have a video coming out talking about that, by the way. Are logistic trucks, or are fluid trucks worth it in Satisfactory? So stay tuned for that if you are interested in answering that question. Basically, I just do all the maths for you. There you go. That's basically it. Because I'm just that nice, apparently. With all this here as well. Redesign that. So today actually involved a lot more redesigning than what I was originally planning. Because right now, in theory, we're supposed to be doing our logistics floor. But then to do our logistics floor, I've now had to, again, redesign all of this. You know what? I think it's for the best. I honestly do not mind spending a little bit of time doing all of this. I think in total, it just adds to the build. I'm quite happy doing this. I'm probably going to delete most of this, not most of this, most of the floor in a second. We'll do everything past here, I'd say, and go. There we go. And again, you require a very quick little redesign. I say very quick, it'll only take about half an hour. No, a lot shorter than that. I hope. And also the road up here. This blueprint's been deleted. Oh, it's not even a blueprint. Okay, well. Really? I did not make that into a blueprint. Fair enough. I think that was intentional, because I remember me saying something along the lines of, I want this to not be a completely blueprint-generated city. That's quite nice. Saying that as I blueprint-generated city, but oh well. So then you're going to go to nowhere. Nice sound. No. Then now I'm hoping you can go straight... No, okay. What are you doing? How did that even... I don't know. Great, so everything there is now perfect. Don't forget to paint it the right sort of colour. Today's a Saturday, isn't it? Damn. You finally completed a maths Sudoku with only one mistake and one misinput. Oh, nice. I've never been too good at the whole Sudoku thing. I'll try and learn it one day. There we go, then don't forget to do this, which I normally do forget. Nope. There we go, then one more of you right here. Great. Okay. Then I suppose you just have to go there. Brilliant. Okay. You seem a lot chunkier than the other one, even though you're not. That has to go. Can I just about select it? Yes. Does that cut off my entire... Okay, no, it doesn't. I thought that cut off my entire grid there for a second, but luckily it didn't. That would have actually been a little bit disastrous. disaster has been avoided today. On this day, disaster has been avoided. Right, there's a Churchill thing. Anyway. Right, so everything underneath here now looks fine. Which is great. I suppose the only thing left to do now is place in these blueprints. Do I want to reposition where the go into the project? I don't think it actually matters, unless it does. Because again, here, what am I actually importing? Nothing. Water, crude oil, but nothing is coming into the build via truck. Because it would have been nice if you walked into the thing and you just see some like submerged truck stations in a little exposed bit underneath the logistics floor. That could be quite nice. But I don't see how that would look nice. I really can't think of anything to do with our trucks now. I suppose I could use it for water, but do I really want to? Because I'm going to be packaging the water. I can then deliver the packaged water via truck inside the city. But then the reason why I normally don't mess around with trucks is because, or tractors, if there's a problem with them, it ruins everything. So it's almost just not worth it. Whereas with a conveyor belt, I know, okay, great. So it started with 600, it's going to end with 600, unless I do a mistake with it. If I, let's say, only add in a Mark II conveyor belt in one certain location, which means I can only transport 120 items per minute rather than 600, that's my fault. Other than me, conveyor belts are 100% trustworthy. Trucks, tractors, trains, no, I don't trust any of it. I trust none of it. Not to mention, I've also got to power the trucks. Power it with what? I haven't got anything. I've got extra coal. So I could power it with coal. Bring a line down here. I could absolutely do that. And the water is going to be coming in from over there. I'm going to do an exposed truck station. I'm going to have 2 truck stations. One where I'll be emptying the water from the truck, and the other one where it goes around a little loop inside of here. So it will go from here to here. We'll then be collecting the empty canisters to then go get some more water. There won't be much water being delivered from the truck. It will only be a small amount, but it should be enough just to keep this particular part of the factory looking pretty good, and also making this thing actually not useless. Almost as useless as me. So in that case, wow. So in that case, I suppose I want this to be the center. I want our truck to be coming in through here. Where's like the exact center of the center? Yeah. Here. So we're going to be a lot closer to this side this time, if I can even fit it in. That's what he said. Sorry. Wow. That was diabolical. Oh, it just about fits in from this angle at least. It's going to be a tight turn. I won't sugarcoat it. It will be a tight turn. Although, do I actually care about my citizens' safety? No. Ew, imagine caring about the safety of citizens. Bro. What am I, like, normal? No. Tuck that into there. Got to do this one by hand rather than the blueprints because it's, again, it's all over the place, this one. That's fine. What the hell is happening? There we go. Although... Wait, because that's 1.5, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. I think now what I'll do here then is potentially this. There we go. Let's see. Oh yeah, you're now too wide, aren't you? So annoying. So either way, you're just going to go forwards by a fair amount. I feel like I've said a fair amount, at least like a fair amount today. I've got no power, okay. Probably get rid of a couple of these. That's fun. Then what I want to try and do is just make sure that I've hooked that up to cancel. Up to here. Why have I got no power? I've got tons of power, so why can't I just... There we go, thank you. That was difficult, apparently. Right, so then you're going to continue around like so. Same with that. Then I'm going to come out by this much, let's see. Now I have got blueprint mode enabled, so it should make the next parts nice and simple. You have to go there. You're facing west. Make sure you're facing west. And you. Yeah, this looks a lot nicer than what we had before. Granted, I know what we had before was just a rough template of what I actually wanted, but regardless, this does look quite nice now. I suppose the next blueprint to try and design would be... I need some more power in here. Sorry, just 1 second. I need more power in here. That did absolutely nothing. Okay, that's fine. In that case, just get rid of that. Have you got power? No, you haven't got power either. Does anybody in this establishment have any sort of power that I could borrow? Yeah. There we go. So you've got to come back by 2 to the halfway points. There's a couple of things I've got to try and redo here. Well, not redo. Rethink. Firstly, this. It's the first one. I also didn't add that on that side. Wait, load that back. I didn't do this. Oh, Christ almighty. I swear I was aiming at that for all 3 times. I don't care. Let's just try and chuck... Let's just try and chuck that into there. You are off a little bit. Great, so now all this can go again. It's time for good. Until it makes its comeback in about literally 20 seconds from now. I'm going to save this one as 007. There we go. Then what I've got to try and do is this repeated. Is this definitely... Yeah, that's definitely 2 foundations wide. Okay. I don't know why I just... Oh, that's why I didn't look at it, because you're slightly off. Fair enough. You're still fine from the side of there. Now, the last thing to do, I believe, is going to be this. It should be white automatically. Boom. So here we've got you two that have now been added down to here. Five, 6, 7, 8. Apply changes. Now what I'm going to do is this. You're the first one that I need, isn't it? So. Great. Okay. Nice. I should now have the appropriate blueprints needed for this. You're going to be quite difficult now, which is fine. That's what I expect. So the first thing that I want to try and do is get rid of that. Also add this into here. Then, if I can, do this. We go. Then you... Is there a corner one for this? No, I think I remember that being a problem from last playthrough. Yeah, that is quite annoying. Right. Oh well, then whatever you are, just go. There we go. Great. Haven't we got a blueprint for this one now? Yes. You go up to... In theory, yes, you actually go up to there, which is slightly over here. You're lined up with that, so that's actually fine. You can then go. That was only temporary anyway. Why are you missing? That was obviously a mistake I made. Oh yeah, I know why. Yeah, I know why. Well, I thought this is where it doubled over. Wait, that is where it doubles over. Oh, it doesn't matter then. And this is the mistake that we corrected. Brilliant. Then now with you, I need to place down this. And then now... This is where things start to get quite finicky. It's not even lined up, is it? No. Bloody hell. That's my bad. Because here, it snapped, so I just assumed because it snapped, it was correct. But no, it was just not correct, which is fine. Bring you down here by a little bit. Same with you. Can probably get rid of that there, actually, if I'm honest. Yeah. We can start this here. Is that lined up? That's good. There. That seems pretty good there as well. I know it's not exactly one foundation apart, but it's pretty much in the middle. I could have maybe half nudged it, but that's fine. I'd say. I think I would appreciate if you were actually in the corner. I could add a third. That would just look really clustered, though. So, what would... probably end up looking nicer if I was to do this. And just get rid of these. And just resort this out. So if you were to go to there, for example, and if you were to move one further down, here. That looks okay. That has to go. This has to go. Luckily, this won't be as much of a pain to sort out. If I just bring back this asphalt a little bit. Whenever I lock the hologram into place, that's whenever it decides to move. The second I click lock, it then locks into a different place. Okay. Let's just get these walls done first. Before I worry too much about the whole marking things, let me just get this done. Again, I know this is a bit finicky, but it's fine. Almost thought you had a conscious there. No, it's fine. Never. Okay, that will end up looking a little bit crap. So I think what I might have to do is this. Why is that so much higher than the rest? Oh yeah, because the ceiling isn't built properly over here. I thought that seemed off. It's because it was. So that makes sense, yeah. And again, you're slightly off there now as well. Is there any way in which I can probably make this look nice? That's as close as we're going to get. You can see, if you pay very close attention, that this has been duplicated. In fact, actually, I like the way this looks. This looks very sci-fi sort of influenced. This looks fine. But I like the way this looks. I've got to remember that. It reminds me a little bit of a stormtrooper for whatever reason. I have made a stormtrooper today. That's about it. That's the beginning and end of our productivity today. So like I was talking about earlier, I do want to try and get a truck down here. As you can see, it does fit. Obviously, I've made sure it would fit, right? Going up and down these ramps could be a slight problem. But we'll see how it goes. I think it looks nice when you're here, though. Well, I think it looks tolerable, should I say. Not necessarily nice. I don't absolutely hate this with all my guts, is what I'm trying to say. That has to go inwards there a little bit. And of course, you're facing the exact opposite side. That's all good. That's all good. Yeah. Get rid of that. We should have one more that comes up to here, right? There. You can fit in at least one more. You can't do both because it's a corner. I know in theory this is our corner piece, but it's not really what I want it to be. Yeah. Okay. Make it look like a parking garage ramp. I mean, I suppose that's what it's almost looking like. It's very basic. The only problem I've got with it is that when you're actually out here, you can see straight underground into the logistics floor. But I feel like this actually helps quite a lot. These pillars. I don't want to add them there, I don't think. Let's see, what does this look like? No. I'm fine with the way this all looks now. I'm going to get rid of all this. Might help the truck. The truck should be fine. How did I lose power here? Oh yeah, it's right on the border. That's unbelievably bad luck. Oh well. So that's the under bit there now designed. What I was going to try and do next was the actual logistic floor. The roof here is fine. That will get added along with everything else along there. I suppose the very first thing I want to try and do is figure out where exactly do I want to start this. Let's get 6 on that one. It's the wrong one, of course it is. As you have been placed the wrong way around. Again. So, 6, then that one's going to be number 7. Great. It's got the roof there and everything. Brilliant. So I suppose I want this to start here. Although the roof appears to be too low now. How? How's the roof too low? Yeah, the roof's too low, which means that everything has been designed wrong. Okay, that's fine. Let's redo this again. That's all good. Luckily, this was here anyway, which I didn't really want. This isn't what I'm concerned about. It's the other blueprint that's got all the detailing. I've now got to, again, redesign parts of that. Long day. Long day. Why did it just rotate itself? I didn't rotate it. So tomorrow we've got a good few things to continue, which is great. Okay, luckily this doesn't need any sort of redesigning, I don't think. Except you've got to now go up. That kind of sucks, but oh well, who cares? It's just a little bit of extra work. That looks fine. So this should now be the proper heights. Hopefully. I'm going to start by adding in this blueprint, I think. Right there. Yes, this is now the same height. Okay. I have to go back to this one. Now I'm really hoping this is going to reach. Yes, it does. Brilliant. So that's going to help quite a lot with our power. And not just with our power, but also with our jetpack here as well. And this is the spacing that I want to try and have. So it's going to go... one power blueprint, one blank, one power, one blank. Pretty much in every single direction. So, yeah. The only another problem that is now created by this is if I've already placed down the roads up here, for example, are you now going to be completely broken? Yep. Okay. How can I best fix this, do you think? I suppose by ripping out the road, then doing the road after I've done this, the interior. Which is a bit of a shame. As long as I've got this though, I can just zoop it across, so that shouldn't be too bad. Although I can almost guarantee the zoop won't actually work first try. Guaranteed it won't work first try, in fact. But it will work eventually though, so that's pretty good. The only other thing to be a little bit concerned about now is where I've plopped down... What was that? There we go. What's it called? The underground road area. Because I can't obviously plop down a pillar in the middle of a road. So I've got to make sure that I don't hit that or interact with it in any sort of way. Furthermore, when I actually build my little trucks station in here, it's going to have like little exposed area to our logistics floor. And this road would be blocking it, so I then have to get rid of that, but that can all just be removed whenever it has to be. Okay, so you still haven't got any power. Did I not just connect you to power about a second ago? No, that's okay. So we're going to do... 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2... It is 4 wide, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4. No, it's 5. Okay, yeah, 5 wide makes sense. 1. Let's get rid of all this. I know in theory I'm getting rid of everything just to plop it down again, but it makes sense. Because it means I can plop that down as well. So it is actually quite handy just to do. There we go. So, this is next. Okay, that's nice little elevation. Don't really want that though. There we go. That lined up. Yes, it is. We then go here. That's pretty good. Regarding everything up here, again, it is going to be a little bit glitchy. It doesn't look glitchy right now, although it should be. Oh, because I haven't technically built it in the way just yet. Okay, but that's good though. And over here, we can have a 3 gap. That's completely fine. There's a 1.5 gap. That's, again, completely fine there as well. Brilliant. Okay, yeah, so everything over here that just goes. Good, good, good. This will save time. As of right now, it doesn't look like it's saving time because I'm having to do about 10 other things as well, but this will end up saving time. So I don't know if I want to get rid of all of this just yet. There we go. We then go 6, 6. No. One more over here. Great. Now for this gap, how wide is it? It's currently 3, 4, 5. I can go back by 5. Actually, this might not even be a problem. As you go there, you're not blocking anything. You then go here. And again, you're not actually blocking anything. Okay, good. Then you're just normal anyway. So. Gonna make sure that I get rid of this here, though. Rest of that is fine. So it looks like I am going to have to redo pretty much all of my roads. Which is fine. As long as I keep in a couple so I get the rough gist of what I'm trying to do. So you can stay. This can all go. Is there any other way I can do this? Make it easier for myself? No. Nope. Oh well. But in that case, now I know the last thing for me to design is the actual road markings and the roads themselves. Because I can't just maintain them. Do that all the way down over here. I'm hoping these will be fine, although I'm guessing, along with everything else, they won't be. There we go. Okay. See, now I can actually do the road markings here, because I've got nothing else to place underneath her. So, is this going to work? First try. Let's see. You actually are? Wow. Genuinely disbelieved. That's worked. Kind of speechless. And the reason why I designed my roads like this, as you can see, my roads are overlapping, but they're not overlapping to the state that it interferes with my pattern. So that's the reason why I do what I do. Just thinking out loud here now as well, if I was to do this, this should be completely fine. I don't see why I should not do that. I like the way that looks. It adds a little bit more colour. I do love a little bit of colour as well, so absolutely just go with that. I think the reason why I didn't think of it at the time is because... So I can do this, can't I? I didn't have this particular marking available. Now I do, so we're using it. That has to go. That has to go as... No, actually, that's fine, that's fine. There we go. Brilliant. So yes, we are going to have to redo some things, but honestly, I feel like that's completely fine. I really like this sort of pattern that we are going with. What I want to try and do, not tomorrow, because again, tomorrow is our conveyor belt highway day. One of our many conveyor belt highway days. Many. I'm looking forward to it now, but I can guarantee you, after a while, conveyor belt highways are going to be the death of me. I'm saying it now. Anyway, but the reason why I'm looking forward to it though is because I haven't done it in so long, and I actually really enjoy it. Go right. There we go. You lots have to go here as well. I won't go too much further because again, I have to work on everything past here. So you can all end. In fact, I'll do this just so I know where the visible gap is. That's where I've done everything. Let's redo all this. This is going to be a nightmare, I can guarantee it. Actually, no, it's not. It's going to be fun. Screw it, let's enjoy it. Got nothing to lose. Literally. Other than my will to live, but that was lost years ago. No, I'm joking. I love life. I love breathing oxygen, it's really good fun. So the reason why I'm sort of stuck between a rock and Mississippi right now is because I want to try and design something here, obviously. But I've got to have to move all these over a little bit. You might have noticed nothing here's nothing here is really built to a proper grid, which was partially intentional, but At the same time, I kind of hate myself for it, so, yeah. Okay, why have you decided to be a nuisance to my brain cells? Where is this thing? Factory zone line. Oh, you've actually built that already. Okay, oh, place down there. Okay. Now, how are you gonna look? As of right now, completely fine. Which is borderline concerning. What's the catch? There we go. This is far better. We've actually got a really good layout now going for us. All we have to do is literally just place things down, which I know sounds pretty simple. But we'll see how it goes. It does create little gaps here, for example, which is kind of annoying. Luckily, all I have to do is that. There we go. I mean, that's just nice and simple there. So everything here is now fine. That's fine. Logistic floor-wise, is everything okay? Kind of. I want to get rid of all this, though. The reason being is because I want to transport power through here. Nowhere else, just through here. You're then going to get to this. In fact, in theory, I could just build you straight down, but I don't really want to do that. I'll carry you around here for now. There we go. Again, that's most likely going to change eventually, but as of right now, you have got power. You're then going to go across here. You're then going to go across here. And that's basically how these are going to work. We're going to have power lines going north and east. So north, south, east, west, basically. In straight lines. The line isn't going to be completely hidden. Like, I can see the lines, but I know that they're straight, so it looks nice to me. It helps. Okay. Now I suppose all I've got to do is just continue what I've just done. All the way out. And the reason why I'm actually fine with asphalt being here, like I was explaining earlier, is because somewhere roughly on this level is where I'm going to be walking around my factory. So I don't mind if my machines are built a little bit lower. Because I think that's going to end up looking fine. If anything, I wouldn't mind if they were built even lower than that. But in fact, would that make sense? I'm going to keep it like this now, but yeah. No, it's fine. Because what I was just thinking about there, for example, is if I was to have an assembler, let's say, it can't go into this wall because it's at the same level with the stairs, so it can't physically go into the wall, which means that it has to come up from the ground, which is fine. Like, that's not a massive drama. The second thing that I can do, for example here, is it's definitely built centralized, isn't it? Yeah. It is. So when I come out into here, I could then raise the floor here a little bit. By that, I mean 1, 2, 3, 4. One, two, three, four. And have this as our pedestrian walking path going all the way around the factory. This will then mean that I can, for example, again, if I was to get my assembler, put my assembler in here, then you can go underneath the stairs, which gives us a little bit more logistic room to play around with, and also it just could look a little bit better. More room for activities, as they say in Mandarin. They don't say that in Mandarin. And look, I've always got power now. It's fantastic. Except if I go obviously too far out, but I don't intend on doing that. Let's go. So I think overall with this logistics floor, I am pretty happy with how it has gone. Do I think it's been the perfect build? No, because that's just stupid to believe, but... oh, dearie me. But... hasn't been too bad. I'll then end this here. Index. Okay, so my voice has decided to die. My voice. What the hell has happened to my voice? Bloody hell, my voice has decided to die, but let's just power through it. So you go down to there, that's fine. Now the thing I want to try and know a bit more information about is your face, everything about your face. This. It's ready. You there. You're here. And this would be where that pillar would then be. But because you're in the way, you absolute twat, that means I can't do anything there. What I can do though is just continue this out. Like so. Then what I can do is plop you down there. Plop you down, thank you. Then you here. And then you here. You there. Good. There we go. And build it back by one more, but you are all gonna be just the basic one. Bro, honestly, we're doing well. Well, I say we're doing well. I'm not really doing anything remarkable, but it's alright. For my standards, it's not too bad. There we go. Everything should be lining up. I can already tell it's lining up. Also, regarding resources, this is cheap. Wait, pause. It's cheap for my standards. It's probably one of the cheapest builds I've ever done on this channel. Again, not really saying much there, but what it is saying is I am trying to conserve resources. Not because I think that my PC is going to die from all the resources, because right now I'm playing on ultra graphics. Everything's so smooth, it's crisp as it should be. But what I am thinking might happen is I reach the resource limits, which is a bit of a concern. And I haven't even made rocket fuel yet. Okay. Now, because I'm still connected to a power grid, I assume this is working. It is, yes. And you connect to there. And the last connection I want to try and make is with you to here. Great, so everything here now has power, so I can get rid of that. And the only reason you have power is because of this. Which means what I can probably end up doing here is getting rid of... Hello. Getting rid of that. My voice has literally just died in the space of about 5 minutes. That's not great. Carry our power through here. Just like that. And you can then go down here. There we go. So now I should be able to get rid of this. Yes. Okay, brilliant. We now have a kind of fully functioning little grid there, which is great. Okay, next thing now. Let's see. It's so weird having this here, because it really puts into perspective how big this factory actually is going to be. Because this seems like it's a lot of... Well, it is a lot of room. It's a huge grid. And this is only going to be a quarter... I've built half of the quarter, so I've built an eighth of what I actually want to try to build. So, yeah. It's going to be an interesting one. Anyway. Let's keep going. How far back? That's pretty good. I would say that's pretty perfect. Now let's do you all the way across here. Like so. I don't know if this has taken longer or shorter than I thought. I think a little bit longer. But we've got a nice design going. Granted, I've had to remove every road I've placed down. Other than that, it's a good design. Also, apologies for the sound being loud of when I place blueprints down. That's just something I can't really do too much about. I had a plan there, but I don't think it's actually going to work. It's easier if I just place these whenever I'm closest to the thing. Apparently now I just can't place it down. There we go, thank you. Can I try and get one more in? Don't see why not. Oh, there we go. It's too high, of course. Everything should be lined up with each other. Let's give it a quick double check. Yes. If that's lined up, the rest of them kind of have to be. There we go. Now we've got a bit of a spring in our step. Lovely. Now here again, we need one more. It's weird how sometimes it just places down so easily, other times it refuses to. Oh, missing concrete, finally. Damn, that took us ages there to actually start running out of concrete. So whilst that's replenishing, let's try and fully just connect all these power cables together. Although you don't really need to be crossing across each other. So I'm just thinking out loud again. Or do you? I'm going to. There we go. Yeah, thank you very much again for everyone who's currently tuning in over on YouTube. I have currently paused the Twitch streams for the next foreseeable future, because Twitch is no longer working with my PC, and I don't care for it. I prefer YouTube. Even though this site is far from perfect. Welcome, Vadius. What's the plan? It's written on screen. Basically, this is our rocket fuel city. We're also making a bunch of plastic, rubber as well, and some other things. And this is one square of it. So what I'm currently doing right now is the logistics floor, which is currently taking up about 15 meters in height. So it's a huge logistic floor with an underground road there as well. So tomorrow's stream, we're going to be working on our conveyor belt highway, which will be connecting some sulfur, some nitrogen gas, and eventually some crude oil all over the world, which should be quite interesting. And then working on our exterior wall in the next week or so, probably. Also, sorry for my voice. My voice actually died about 10 minutes ago. What I'm also planning on doing here is raising the elevation of the interior part of the factory by about 4 meters, or one foundation, and then adding a visible viewing area into our logistics floor, where our truck stations are going to be. So you can see our trucks delivering water, which will then be made for our fuel. Let me just show you this. So our trucks will be delivering some of the 4,000 water. It will most likely be only a few hundred. The majority of it will be delivered from conveyor belts, from our logistic floor, and coming over from, well, around the factory. Making a good amount of fuel, nitrogen gas, coal and sulfur. All three of these are being imported into the factory to then produce 6,000 rocket fuel, or 360,000 megawatts. Then with our compact coal, I then combine it with a bunch of heavy oil residue as a byproduct from our plastic and rubber to then make turbo fuel, which will then be used for some drones. So basically, my byproduct is mixing with a byproduct to make a byproduct, which is then making fuel for drones. This factory is as efficient as I could possibly think of. So I'm quite happy with it. I don't know if it's perfect. I've never attempted anything on this scale before. So this is completely new territory for me. I did build a really beefy rocket fuel factory in our last season here on this channel. But the recipe that I used, which I didn't know about because I didn't do the best recipe series until then. But the recipe that I used was actually crap. The recipe that I'm using now is so much better. How much nitrogen? In total, we are consuming 3,000 nitrogen gas to make the 6,000 rocket fuel, which is quite a lot, but I figured out how I can get it. So there's some nitrogen gas over in this part of the map, which I'm already collecting. There's then some more nitrogen gas over here, which as you can see by this little yellow line, which is going to be our future conveyor belt highway. I'm just going to collect our nitrogen gas and then just transport it through here. And luckily, because it's a gas, not a liquid, I can actually get the full amount of gas rather than, let's say, with crude oil, where I've got to add things like, what's it called? Pipe pumps. And then sometimes you don't actually get the full amount, which is really annoying, but luckily that's fine. And then the rest of this stuff is just a little bit of crude oil over there, a bunch of sulfur, and more sulfur down there. Then our drones will then be collecting all of this as well. So, in fact, in theory, I've also calculated the amount of drones that I need, how far the distance is, the time, all that sort of things, how much of the resource I actually need. So, we've been planning this in theory now for a long time. A long time. That's why I can't wait to just do it. Okay, have I got enough concrete now? Let's see. Again, apologies for my voice. Just want to try and finish this off. Because tomorrow's stream is going to be a good one. Pretty fun stream, actually, as well. Okay, why have I run out of electricity there? Or power. It's fine. Hello? Wait, can I not... Oh, okay. So I can't place it down when I'm looking at what I want to try and place down, but I can if I look away from it. Sound. Just sound. Oh, we've almost got enough. Let's just do this very final row then. No, I want to try and finish it. We've only got one more row to... Wait, is this the final row? No, one more. We'll gather all these. There we go. Crazy plans. Yeah, it is. Some people think the only reason why I do these big builds is because I make content. But the thing is, if I wasn't making videos, I'd be doing the exact same thing right now. I'll be playing Satisfactory, and I'll be building a factory of this scale. I'm just recording it. Like I always say, I'm a content creator first. Sorry, I'm a gamer first, content creator second. I just record what I do. I don't do much else. Well, I make best recipe videos, which is how most people kind of know my channel exists. Yeah, it's a pretty chill place to be. Okay, we are out of concrete. I can go gather some more real quick, so let's just go do that. Even though in theory, I have actually built as much as I wanted to. But let's just finish it. Yeah, big builds are fun. Like, I find them really enjoyable to do. I know some people like their micro builds. That's fine. I've done micro builds. And they're completely fine. However, having said that, I do just prefer bigger projects. Oh, nice. That was a terrible jump. That should be enough concrete. That should definitely be enough. Okay. I've only designed one wall so far, but you can get a gist of what I'm trying to go for. I think it's some sort of cube, basically. I want to reverse this pattern right here and place it on top of this, so it will create some sort of like weird V-looking thing, which will then loop around the factory. And regarding its height, I don't think we're going to go that tall with this particular zone. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. So the bit that I want to try and open up is going to start roughly here. And it's going to contain... Should be here. Oh, there we go. It is right here. These truck stations. Which is going to be built on this level. And that's the reason why I want to try and open it up. Because as of right now, this appears through the floor. But because I'm going to be building this 4 meters taller, what's actually going to...
Fix-It reminds you to drive vehicles accurately through a truck station's dock area while recording a path. This ensures it will connect properly once everything is automated. The truck station can be set to load or unload, and can also refuel vehicles. Unlike some pioneers, truck stations care about saving humanity.
Sorry, I've just realized I've never placed down a truck station in this playthrough until now. Until hour, what, like 480? I'm 490 hours into this one playthrough, and I still have, and 11 minutes, and I still haven't placed down a truck station until just this very second. Crazy. But yeah, so we're going to dig out a nice little hole around here. We're going to have the trucks going in and out. It's going to look really cool, although in theory, it's going to come in from that side and just go straight. I've got a design in mind. Oh, I've got a really good design. Okay, wait. I'm not going to do it today because I'm not doing truck stations today. And my inspiration for this, let me actually show you. It's the Hunger Games. I've just thought of this one scene in the Hunger Games about 4 minutes ago. Hunger Games catching fire. There's this one scene in this movie. Capital scene. Can I try and find the inspiration? There we go. This image right here. Imagine, rather than people, obviously, I'm just trying to zoom in on that. There we go. So, rather than there being people here, this is just stairs, okay? So you've got stairs coming down like this. You've then got truck stations along there with our trucks going from here, which would be where I'm currently standing, the entrance point for the vehicles. Then exiting on this side, which would be the end of this part of the factory. I think that would look sick. I don't know if it's going to look sick. And also, because of how large the foundations are, and the fact that I don't think I'm going to need this many foundations, it's also a pretty good way to use up some of that floor space. Absolutely, that's my plan. So I get inspired from everything, like Cyberpunk, Hunger Games. As long as it works, it works. Which is my pretty self-explanatory logic. Anyway. Let's get this last thing done. We're going to end it off there for today. To be fair, almost 3 hours. That's not too bad for a stream on our channel. Tomorrow is going to be a fun day. I'm looking forward to the conveyor belt highway stuff. And also, it seems to be a fan favorite as well. Whenever I do conveyor belt highway stuff, people seem to really like it. There we go. So now, this is all the room for this part of the factory. And again, let's just plop down some logistics to show you how much room there actually is here. Like, that has done nothing. I built some factories where if you build one conveyor belt or one pipe, it takes up a lot of room and everything's a bit squashed. This does basically nothing. It's amazing. I like it. Let's try and get a thumbnail together, actually. Well, not together, but let's try and get a thumbnail of tomorrow's stream. In fact, right here. Without the 2 towers. That's beautiful. There you go. Well, that's tomorrow's thumbnail. Well, not done. I've got to add some things to it. But yeah, thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in today. Hope that you guys ended up enjoying the stream. I know it's a bit quiet, but it is what it is. Sometimes I prefer it that way, if I'm honest. Thank you, too, as I double-check the YouTube things. Thank you for the 3 likes on the stream. I do greatly appreciate that. I will see you guys again tomorrow for some more shenanigans. And, yeah, have an amazing rest of your day, guys. Look forward to tomorrow's stream. Should be a fun one. And, yeah, stay safe. And as always, Godspeed. Cheerio.